start sizing her up. They go from small, and they go to one that's like the size. It was like this. And I'm like, how does your body...
The funny thing is, I had an actual situation like that when I was younger with a girl.
What?
I was, fingering her. And I
got
got 4 fucking fingers in her. And she was like, just taking it like it was nothing. And then she was... Yeah, and I'm like... And then she was like, kind of like, that's it type shit. And I was like, well, I ain't gonna be able to do shit for you then. So we're done.
You think this is small? Huh?
Yeah, like
you had a luck.
Yeah, I was all right. Well, I'm out.
But think about it, like a baby comes out of there.
Right, but then when you're you don't think about that kind of shit when you're trying to pound it out. You know what I mean? Like how, have you ever been on a set where you're just like, I can't get into it because of that?
Because
the way it looks. You're talking about the way it looks.
Blown out, I'd be like,
oh yeah, okay.
No, I can't.
So you're talking about the way it looks.
By the way it looks, or if she used like too big of a dildo, and you're like, I can't.
Right.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't feel the friction type of deal.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. So there's a hypothesis about vaginas that I'll go down here. So like, there's like the theory. I like this theory. I think this kind of explains a lot of my experience. There's like a couple of different types of vagina, right? And depending upon like what your penis is like, the different types of vaginas are going to feel better or worse for you, right? So there's ones that are like tighter, there's ones that are looser, there's ones that are smooth on the inside, there's ones that are ribbed on the inside. Those are your vaginas, and so it's like guys tend to have. I think if you thought back and broke down like the women you've enjoyed the most. You're probably going to find you would probably be able to describe it. You're going to describe the ones you like. It's like,
no, it was like this. It was like that.
Yeah. So my personal preference is actually like a looser, smoother one.
Really?
Yeah, but most guys will be like, oh, I want them tight.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't. Yeah,
Okay.
call it a personal preference. But but then again,
that's weird. Because actually, speak up on that. I've actually been with somebody that's had that mommy makeover, whatever that.
Yeah. Oh, the labiaplasty.
Yeah.
See, I had one of those too when they got the whole stomach and then all that shit, everything all reconstructed.
Like very different. Yeah, it felt kind of weird.
Why?
Because it's different from
kind of
like
artificial
from when you're actually starting the actual experience, and obviously you guys are just getting into it, muscles tight from whenever she recently had sex, and then it loosens up just a little bit, but the fact that it just stays the same like the whole time as somebody's like just holding me like the whole time.
Like you're forcing it in there.
Yeah.
Every time you insert it, you're forcing it in. It's
basically. Yeah.
No.
I mean, you can do exercises for that too.
No, the
Kegel.
Yeah.
So am I.
All right.
Okay. How much of like in your program do you just give men steps for the bedroom, or does confidence play a lot of who they are outside the bedroom? Does that trickle on into being,
or what part of your program is the most like? Because you say you have several different books on each program. Which program do you see that men usually typically go to?
The most impactful one is the one I call it sexual dominance escalation, and it's where I basically break down. I try to make my stuff autism proof. So I tried to create this video course on like, okay, how can I take a guy who has very little sexual experience,
like those books says dummy, like this for
dummies, right? And how can I take like my brain and kind of download it into his head
where he gets it in
a way that he can get it. And I think
no matter what sexual experience you have,
and I think I accomplished that. But so I made like I came up with this like sliding spectrum of like super vanilla stuff all the way to like basically BDSM, and I broke down a bunch of different like sexual techniques along the spectrum, and I baby step guys along this spectrum so they can be like, because the rationale behind it was one of the things that I get a lot of guys messaging me about is that they're not confident enough to be dominant and kind of like that sexually aggressive, passionate
they're scared
guy.
of the reaction from the girl, or
they're legitimately scared.